Hello, this is Mr. Kays, and we are finishing up Chapter 10.3. This is 10.3b. We've been talking about Muslim achievement, which included social classes of Muslim society, the role of women, and scholarship in general. We talked last time about the House of Wisdom located in Baghdad, Iraq. And it was a house of learning as well as translation center for Greek and Roman texts. Today, we're going to look at the arts and sciences. The advances in medicine, mathematics, and science contributed to a society that was well taken care of. We see individual gentlemen like Al-Razi, also in the West called Rhasis. He was considered the greatest doctor or physician of the Muslim world. These doctors knew how to categorize diseases and come up with simple cures, and they also had some knowledge of simple surgery. Math and science, boy, do they stretch horizons for sure. We see two ideas that are going to stand out. As far as reliance on scientific observation and experimentation, and the ability to find math solutions to all knowledge. They thought that math was the basis for all knowledge, believe it or not. An important gentleman by the name of Al-Khwarizmi, he was the founder of Al-Jabr, where you are taking or bringing together unknowns to match a known quantity. Doesn't that sound just like algebra? Oh my. Another gentleman, Ibn al-Haytham, he wrote a book called Optics, in which he was able to produce medical knowledge that led to the production of telescopes and microscopes. Muslims from early times had been well versed in the eye, the optics, and it extends here in the Middle East. Philosophy and religion. We see a gentleman by the name of Averroes in the West. His Islamic name is Ibn Rushd. He is going to attempt to harmonize Greek philosophy like Aristotle and Plato's views with that of Islam. Muslim literature, it expressed love, bravery, generosity, and hospitality. The Quran is obviously, for the Muslim, the standard for all literature and poetry. We see pieces of literature, including the collection of stories, the 1001 Nights, that were entertaining stories that included fairy tales, parables, legends, and they are linked to places like Persia and India. And I'll give you an example. The story of Aladdin is a part of the collection of 1001 Nights, and also the tale of Sinbad, an Arabic sailor who had many fantastic adventures. Arts and literature, arts and architecture, excuse me. You need to understand Islamic religion is going to frame what is allowed and what is not allowed. It was forbidden to use images of people. Why? Because of the idea that there's a tendency to worship the creation instead of the creator. They would say, you worship Allah only, and so there were no graven images or pictures of people or animals. Well, what you began to see is artists turning to calligraphy, which is the art of decorative writing, very fluid in its motions and very artistic. Artistic expression through writing also. But you see artistic expression through woodwork, glass, ceramics, and textiles. You see things like mosaics, tapestries, etc., etc. Another example would be rug work for their prayer rugs. The Great Mosque of Damascus was built on the site of a Christian church, and that is grand in its scale and typical of Islamic architecture with its domed roofs and its onion-shaped domes, and it's also its arches, etc., etc. Unified Muslim state, it broke up, but Muslim culture continued, and you begin to see a tying together through arts, literature, architecture, trade. Now, 3 Muslim empires, as we end here, are going to carry on the Muslim culture. They include the Ottomans, Ottomans, of Turkey, the Safavids, Safavid, they were from Persia, and the Mughals, Mughal, the Mughals of India. We will see in the coming chapters examples of art, architecture, literature expressed in these 3 empires.